Tier list, you gotta love them. They always give you a good gauge on what heroes are at the top and what heroes are, well, you know. And today we have the Vikings tier list, starting with Raider. If you look at his description, he's adaptable and straightforward. This is evident in his moveset. But how does this straightforward moveset stack up against other heroes? Raider can get a little bit predictable, and the reason why I say that is because of this. One of Raider's go-to moves is the stun and tap. So if I dodge forward, press light attack, that is the stun and tap. I can do this in any direction, and I can actually throw a heavy and then go into the stun and tap. Yes, there's people that's really good with this, but in my opinion, I think if you're going against a really good player, they're going to catch on to this and they're going to parry that stun and tap. But Raider still has some other good abilities. For example, he can just throw it unblockable whenever he wants, and if you do the zone attack as a second attack in a chain, it'll do more damage. It'll do 28 damage rather than doing 24 damage, so slightly more damage. With your opponent taking all this damage, it's going to make them really antsy and make them want to do other things. So you can actually throw a zone, go into the stun and tap, or even go into the stun and tap as the third move in the chain. And of course, this isn't a complete overview of Raider. I'm just telling you some of the things that I like about him. So for Raider's placement, I'm gonna have to put my man at B tier. He's really good. I don't think he can compete with the A tier heroes, but he's definitely not terrible. So I think B is a good spot for Raider. Next, we got the good old Berserker. Berserker is an assassin. He's hard to play, as you can see. Short range harasser. He does a lot of damage. So that's where I think the harasser part comes in. So when you get up close to your opponent, you can actually throw a light attack, cancel, and just keep doing that real quick. Berserker has real quick animations, and sometimes it gets really hard to block. Also, while Berserker's going through with his chain, he has hyper armor, which allows you to power through some attacks. But there's a flip side to this. He is an assassin hero, so he's not really made to tank a lot of damage, but he's able to if you need to. So if you throw a heavy as a second attack in the overhead position, it'll be unblockable. You can use this to throw people off. I really like that about Berserker, because he can get those guard breaks in. And Berserker also has a deflect. You have to press the guard break right after to confirm a guard break. With all this being said, Berserker is a really good hero. I don't think he's the best, but he can hold his own when he needs to, even in 4v4 modes. So I'm gonna have to put Berserker in C tier. He's really good, but I don't think he's competing with the B, A, or definitely S tier heroes in this game. So next we have Highlander. If you take a closer look at Highlander, we have 2 combat forms and he's a technical fighter. Taking a look at Highlander's moveset, he's actually gone through some changes. He can now cancel his kick, press guard break to throw the kick, and then you can cancel that. And they've also made Highlander's grab a little bit quicker. So if you hold back and press guard break, you can actually grab him up, throw him to the ground to get some free damage in. Now, I'm no Highlander expert, but I think his placement should be about B tier. I think he's up there with Raider. I don't think he's competing with the A tier heroes, but even with the recent changes, I think he deserves a B tier spot. Next, we have Jormungandr. Despite having 1 rep on this hero on this account, I love this character. On my old account, I played him a lot more than I do now, but if you take a closer look at Jormungandr, he's a disabler and he's an harasser. This makes him real annoying to deal with, especially in 4v4 modes. Some of the standout things about Jormungandr is his ability to destroy his opponent's stamina. Now, I can throw a light attack and then press guard break. This will throw him to the ground. Then I can get a slam in, doing tons of damage. He can also just dodge forward, guard break, just to do some stamina damage. And he can also throw a light attack and then go into a heavy to be unblockable. And you can do this with 2 heavies as well, while having a little bit of hyper armor as well. And something else that I like about Jormungandr that throws people off at times is the ability to throw a zone and then go into that bash. Sometimes people don't expect that. I know I really didn't talk about it with the other heroes, but I wanted to talk about Jormungandr's feats, and this really puts him up there on the tier list. I believe his feats are another reason why he's so good. So taking a look at this, we have Jotun Salve. This is a passive feat. Anytime you hit an enemy with an unblockable attack, it's going to give you health, which is perfect for 4v4 modes. And then you pair it with Hammar's Favor, which is also a passive. You gain a temporary shield after landing Hammar's Slam on an enemy hero. So if you knock your enemy to the ground and get your slam in that does tons of damage, this will give you shield, and it doesn't matter how many times you do it. If you do it once, somebody knocks your shield off while you're getting ganked, you get revenge, you throw him to the ground, and you get your slam again, you're going to get even more shield, which is insane. This makes him ridiculous for 4v4 modes. And you also have Zealot's Bolt. You could throw this and knock your opponents out of stamina, making it easier for you to throw them to the ground to get your Hammar Slam in, which will end up giving you that shield that you need. And lastly, he has Twilight of the Gods. Now this is just a slam that knocks everybody around you down, so you have the ability to get your Hammar Slam in and get even more shield. This hero is perfect for 4v4 modes, and if you like playing Dominion, Breach, anything like that where there's a lot of ganks going on, this is the hero for you. He's also pretty decent in duels, being able to feint his attacks the way he does. So with all that being said, I'm gonna have to put Jormungandr in S tier. I know people may not agree with that, but in my opinion, I believe Jormungandr deserves an S tier spot. Next we have Warlord. Now Warlord's a heavy, he's medium difficulty, so he's not too hard to get into, and he's an harasser as well, and he's a counter attacker. These Vikings have a lot of harassers. So right off the jump, if you dodge forward, press guard break, you can get a bash in, and this will allow you to get a free light attack in. And if I equipped an attack and go into the full guard, I can get a free light attack in that's unblockable. And if I do it again, I can then get an undodgeable heavy in. And also, something that I like about Warlord is if you get a guard break in, you could take your opponent anywhere you want. So this character is really easy to ledge people if you like to play that way. And also, he's just a tank. So if I throw a simple heavy attack, he's going to have hyper armor, so it's going to be hard to interrupt him. And when throwing these long drawn out heavies, you can feint them, go into the bash, and then get a light attack in, which is nice. He also has a parry punish that does a little bit of stamina damage. You just press the guard break right after. Now at times his bash can get a little bit predictable, and he doesn't really seem to be the best at duels. He can hold his own, that's for sure. He's super powerful and he has decent feats. And when putting that all together, I'm gonna have to put him in A tier. I'm a little bit biased because I love Warlord. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Next we have Valkyrie. Now I haven't spent much time on Valkyrie. Obviously I have more than 15 levels. I've put about 15 reps in the Valkyrie in total. It's not in this account, so I have a little bit of experience with this hero. Now I love Valkyrie's mix-ups. As you can see, she's an adaptable disabler, but she has a hard difficulty, so this makes her a little complex. Something I like about Valkyrie is her ability to throw a heavy, cancel, and go into a bash. This allows her to get a free light attack in. You can actually dodge, press guard break, let it go, get an attack in, press guard break again, and after that you can get a heavy again. This does a lot of damage and really holds up your opponent in 4v4 modes. Like I said before, I'm not going to go into a complete overview of the heroes, but with all that being said about Valkyrie, she's great, don't get me wrong, but I don't think she's the best of the best. So I'm going to have to put Valkyrie in C tier. I think that's a good spot for her. Next we have a pretty unique hero, and that's Shaman. As you can see, she's an assassin with medium difficulty, but she's a predatory, fast attacker that has blood trance. Now this blood trance is super important, and I'm going to get back to that later. So I mentioned Shaman being predatory. This is a character that you just cannot run away from. If you try to run away from Shaman, it's not going to happen. She's going to catch you. As you can see, I'm locked onto this hero, but there's some distance to cover. If I dodge backwards, press the guard break, let it go, she's going to run and she's going to hit him. But if I do the same thing, instead of holding guard break, I hold the heavy attack button. She's going to do the same thing, and she's going to run and do a heavy attack, allowing you to start up a chain if you want to, or just do another combo if you want. So going back to the blood trance, this is an ability that I really like about this hero. I can actually throw a heavy, then quickly throw a light attack. This will allow me to do some bleed damage. And if I go and hold the guard break again, if I dodge backward, hold the guard break again, I can leap on him and then gain my health back. Also, if you throw a zone attack, you can end it with a bleeding attack. And if you hit them normally while they're bleeding, this can be from you or somebody else. You'll then get your health back, which is super nice for Shaman. With all these abilities put together for Shaman, I'm gonna have to put Shaman in A tier. If you're a really good assassin and you're really good at timing your attacks, Shaman is a super powerful hero. I could see why some people might put her at B tier, but in my opinion, I think she deserves an A tier spot. Now this is a fairly new hero, and she's a protector and disabler. You can throw a light attack, then throw a heavy. This will allow you to do an unblockable heavy, and after that, you can actually follow it up by pressing guard break to do a headbutt. And then after that, you can actually do a light attack again, which allows you to get even more damage in. This character is super versatile. I haven't got to spend much time with this hero, so I can't give you an honest, true opinion on this hero. Also, if your opponent's throwing an attack, you can actually go into your full guard, press the light attack button, get some damage in, and you can also do this with a heavy attack to do an unblockable. Once you land that unblockable, you can once again do the headbutt and do a light attack. If you're going to get somebody that's really good with this hero, they're going to be super difficult to deal with. And with that being said, I'm gonna have to put Varangian Guard at the A tier spot. I think that's a great spot for her. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to see more, maybe even try hitting that subscribe button. With all that being said, I'll see you in the next video.